Okay, so I'm looking there. Good to know.
The recording, good. Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for coming in to Fort Space today. For our event today is becoming a WWF Living Planet Leader at Concordia. Brought to you by the Living Planet at Campus program here, run through the Office of Sustainability. And to help situate you, we are streaming to YouTube live from Fort Space, and we are located on unceded Indigenous lands in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal. Here at Fort Space, we work with our university community to help mobilize knowledge, co-creating daily activities that examine research questions and projects happening across the university. We're running today's event as a live streamed Zoom meeting. So those of you joining us by Zoom, your comments and questions are essential. So please pop those into the chat, and we'll be sure to get them to everyone here. And those of you in the space, just raise your hand and we'll get a microphone over to you. But with that, it's my pleasure to hand it over to Sustainability Engagement Assistant and the department, the Office of Sustainability, Christian Favreau. Christian, welcome in.
Thank you. Oh, you can hear me? Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you for your interest in the Living Planet Leader program. I can see my co-host Jackie Martin coming in. I'll give her a sec to settle in. So yeah, as Doug mentioned, my name's Christian. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the engagement assistant in Concordia's Office of Sustainability. And so as we move forward, you'll have the opportunity to interact with us either in person or in the chat, and we'll be distributing a worksheet to get you started. So there's, at any point is a good point to stop us, ask questions for any clarification you might need. So as Jackie settles in, I will get started with a territorial acknowledgement. So we'd like to begin by acknowledging that Concordia University is located on unceded Indigenous lands. The Kanien'kehá:ka Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather today. Tiohtià:ke, Montreal, is historically known as a gathering place for many First Nations, and today it is home to a diverse population of Indigenous and other peoples. We respect the continued connections with the past, present, and future in our ongoing relationship with Indigenous and other peoples within the Montreal community. And so while we participate in this program dedicated to conservation and protection of the natural environment, it's important to recognize that environmental conservation in so-called Canada has historically been used as a tool through which to forcibly displace Indigenous peoples from their land. So even today, it is sometimes carried out on Indigenous territories with minimal or no involvement of the Indigenous communities. So we need to acknowledge that Indigenous peoples have been stewards of the lands and the waters of so-called Canada since time immemorial, and that any efforts to protect the environment must honor their right to the land and must take place in consultation and in solidarity with the historical and ongoing leadership of these communities. So I will readjust the mic so that it is midway between us.
Midway?
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Christian. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'm like, by a sustainable activity today, taking the metro. Got me here late, but that's rare. So, I'll just introduce myself a little bit before I jump in. My name is Jackie Martin. I am the Urban Agriculture and Biodiversity Coordinator here at Concordia with Facilities Management. I've been at Concordia for a long time. Before that, I worked at City Farm School and the greenhouse. And now a lot of the work that I do right now has to do with exactly the topic of what we're talking about today. It has to do with making our green spaces better and diversifying our plants, inviting pollinators, inviting other species to come on campus with us, and then in particular for help us notice them, because we actually have quite a few here, but it's to help us notice them as well. And this program is a really great way to get involved with anything outside and all of the species we have. So what we're going to talk about today is like, what is this Living Planet, the Living Planet at Campus certification from WWF? And they also have the Living Leader certification. And then we'll walk you through a little bit how you can become one of the Living Leaders.
Yeah, so I would love the people in the chat, if they're comfortable, just like writing in the chat, like introducing yourselves, telling what program you're studying at Concordia and why you're perhaps interested in this program. Take a few moments. I'll give people a couple minutes so that I know, I put people on the spot. Perhaps it was a bit unkind. Okay, we've got someone who's majoring in human environment and don't know much about the workshop, but passively interested. That's great, because we're going to turn that passive interest into active engagement. Okay. All right, I'll pass it off to Jeff.
All right. There. Thanks, guys. Oh yeah, you know how to do it? Didn't think about this when we chose the presenters for today. So am I on the right slide? Here we go. Okay, so for the WWF, I don't know if everybody's familiar with it. Hopefully you will be by the end of this. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of different things. It does a lot of stuff. We'll go into more detail about some of it today. But sort of key points of this organization is that it was founded in 1967, and it's Canada's largest international conservation organization. And so what that means is there's like active participation from like hundreds of researchers, citizens, organizations, communities. And the main goal of this is conservation. So they're looking at protecting biodiversity and ecosystems. It then connects all of our local efforts to other folks who work in WWF around the world in their own chapters. And so it's a global network with very local bodies and very local impacts, like here on our campus. So the Living Planet at Campus is new. That just started in 2019. And this is, again, an example of one of their like very local efforts. They're looking at university campuses or post-secondary campuses, and they're trying to engage people in the dual crisis of biodiversity loss and climate change. For me, I feel this is really important because almost every campus has been addressing climate change for quite a while and doing a pretty good job of it. But we're only recently starting to recognize the role that biodiversity loss plays in that and how those are interdependent crises that are going on, and that we need to educate ourselves and we need to learn about biodiversity loss and how climate change work together. Yeah. Anyway, so Concordia, we became a partner of the Living Planet campus right in 2019. But the program changed somewhat in 2019, the Living Campus. So what we've decided to do is we're trying to get the Living Planet at Campus certification. In order to do that, we need to do two main things. One of them is we need to do an engagement and outreach activity. So this is the education aspect of it. So we invite everybody in the community to come out and participate. in an activity that will help you understand climate change and biodiversity. So what we've chosen to do is actually coming up at the end of the month. It's going to be on April 26th at Loyola from 1 to 3 p.m. It costs you nothing to be there other than you might get a little wet if it's rainy. And what we're going to do is I take you out around the campus and we're going to do observations of different species, whether they be tiny like blades of grass that are just coming out or looking at the trees. It's a good way to turn your hobby. Everybody likes to take pictures of things that they see. And so what you will be doing is like taking pictures of these things, uploading to them iNaturalist, which is again another global network where it takes citizen science and makes it relevant data for researchers worldwide. It also helps us, and me in particular in my job, to know what we have on campus. What biodiversity do we have on campus? What species do we have in abundance? And what species are we lacking? So then working in facilities, I can then say, we don't have any, I'll use a random example, like brown spotted owls on campus. We haven't found any brown spotted owls. And then why? Well, we don't have any habitat for them. So we need X tree, we need more of this tree planted in order to have that. But I can't know this on my own. I need help. I need people to come out, take observations and upload it to iNaturalist so that then we can figure it out. I'd also just plug this one more time in another way, is that this is a good opportunity to get free schooling because we've invited some local naturalist experts, as well as there's going to be some biology faculty there who are going to help us know where to look and what species we're looking at and how to identify them when we walk around the campus. Then the second part of our not City Nature Challenge, Living Campus, Living Lab at campus, you know what I'm talking about by now, I hope, is our conservation activity. So our conservation activity, what we're going to do is we're looking at a differential mowing strategy for the campus. We'll start out small and hopefully this will grow. What that means is basically just cutting the grass less and planting wildflowers in its place. So we're looking at the campus open space and categorizing it as like high traffic, low traffic, and medium traffic areas. What you're seeing here, these would be considered low and medium traffic. There's not that many people who are walking directly under the base of a tree. So under the tree, the trees will either be not cutting the grass and just letting the wild plants grow back up, or in some cases, we'll be planting specifically native plants under there to try and attract more pollinators. In other areas, we will still continue to cut the grass because we're going to use that space. We're going to use it for events and we're going to use it to play soccer and we're going to use it for picnics. So it doesn't mean that the whole campus will be completely like a grassy meadow, but it does mean that those spaces will exist on campus and that you'll be able to benefit from them as well as all the other creatures.
Yeah, just as you were talking, Jackie, I remembered I joined one of your garden tours at Loyola, and I remember you saying something that just made me go like, oh, dang. Like you said, more people can identify brands than local species, and just like, that sucks. And that's true. That's true for me.
Yeah.
So I really do recommend the City Nature Challenge. If you're at all interested in any and all versions of Pokemon, this is real life Pokemon. And you're helping the scientific community, so highly recommend. So I'm going to give an overview of the Living Planet at Campus initiatives. So the Living Planet at Campus program lives through a web platform that encourages students to take action on a number of different initiatives through their campus. So for each action, the program provides a list of resources and tips and encourages them to work with the Office of Sustainability to get started. Primarily, we are here as a resource for you. If you're like, don't know where to start, don't know where to continue on to, we're here to point you in a direction that interests you. So Earth Hour takes place at 8:30 p.m. on the last Saturday of March every year, so it just passed. And millions of people across the world power down all their electrical devices in their homes for 1 hour. So this action encourages students to organize local Earth Hour events where they can use the hour to organize a candlelit dinner, go stargazing, or simply encourage their fellow students to power down on the day. But there's a lot of creative ways to do this action. I'll let Jackie actually speak about In the Zone because she's the expert.
I was reviewing this last night and stole this slide from Christian, actually, because I think that for me, this is one of the great tools that WWF Canada provides. It's In the Zone is a place where they're encouraging you to get your hands dirty and create native habitat. But what's really interesting about that is that they give you a lot of tools to do it. I'm going to see if this will work.
It's locked to the.
Oh, it didn't. Okay. How do I go back? Oh, it didn't work. I didn't troubleshoot. Anyway, if you go in here and click
And
and,
drop in the chat though.
oh yeah, perfect. Okay.
I'll drop that link in the chat.
Basically what this does is it's like a whole suite of different tools that tell you how to start your pollinator garden or how to garden for biodiversity in your area. And they have it mapped out by region, Southern Quebec being one of the regions. So what this will do is it can save you so much time. It goes through step by step. Like first step, check out the area where you want to do it. Do like a quick BioBlitz or a long BioBlitz so you know what's already there, so you're not going to accidentally uproot Solomon seal because you want to plant false sunflowers. Like you don't want to be uprooting a native plant because you didn't recognize it. So you'd start there and it'll help you figure that out. Then it'll help you know like how to organically prepare the grounds for this. Then it'll also even go so far as to be like, here are places that you can buy native plant seeds in your area. I cannot tell you how many hours, late night hours, I have spent looking all of this stuff up on my own before I discovered this. It's really, really a great tool for anybody who wants to get, wants to grow native plants and enhance their local habitat.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, so I'll move on to the, oh, you had other slides, my bad. Okay.
Oh, it's just another example. Go ahead.
So the Go Wild School grants, again, another amazing resource for students and student groups, or even campus staff and faculty to bring a project idea to life. So the project can aim to protect or restore nature, introduce nature monitoring, or educate communities about the importance of healthy natural ecosystems. So Concordia planted a pollinator garden at Loyola campus with this grant. Some of you may have visited it. It's very cute, it's very beautiful. And so the application will reopen in the fall. Yes. Okay. So designing change for a living planet, and I understand there's a lot of living planet and leader in a lot of these titles. It's hard to understand, but again, we are always here as a resource if you need a foothold. So this is an annual national event where post-secondary students design and pitch their best ideas to inspire action at an annual conference and competition. So Concordians have participated and done very well in previous years. And so the last part of the Living Plant at Campus program is the Living Plant Leader certification. So this is the big one that we'll be turning to now.
Okay, so this is a certification that an individual student follows. Some key points about it is that it's completely self-guided. You do it at your own pace. Christian will go through it a little bit later, how you like sign in, and there's a website that helps you to track your progress. But you do it at your pace, and also like if there are a number of students who are interested in together, and you reach out to us at the Office of Sustainability, we can also put you together, put you in contact with one another so that you can do things together if you want, or alone if you want. It's totally your choice. So there's specific requirements, which means that you have to take part in certain activities during your program. And we'll get into more details about that. for graduate students or undergraduate students. And what's interesting, if you start this as an undergraduate student and you continue to do graduate studies, you can still continue working on it. There's no rush, there's no hassle to get through it. And then once you're done, you get a certificate, which you can use on your CV or LinkedIn. And I can say in my past job at City Farm School, I would often look for these types of certifications when I was interviewing students to take part in the program. Because what it told me as somebody who is interviewing someone is that they can be self-directed, and that they've already shown a commitment to actually put their money where their mouth is when it comes to sustainability or gardening, that they'll take action. So that's my personal experience with this kind of certification.
Yeah, and so it can be really great how self-guided it is, but as always, like that can also be alienating. So that's where we come in, and we're that resource where we can connect you to existing student initiatives or other folks undergoing the certification right now. We have about 25 students at Concordia who are in the midst of it. But if you want to fly solo and start an initiative and really it's self-directed, that is what this program is for as well. So let's actually talk about these requirements. While you're in the program, so you'll have to complete 40 hours of volunteering in a cause related to environmental sustainability, either on or off campus. And we have a plethora of initiatives we could direct you to. You have to take a sustainability course, complete one sustainability project for a course, any course, or even complete a reflection paper on how you could apply environmental sustainability to your area of study and future career path. You have to take 40 personal actions to improve sustainability in your personal lifestyle, and the WWF supplies a very, very long list. And you have to participate in one experience related to sustainability that applies leadership or teamwork skills. Okay, let's go over the website. So this is what the landing page looks like. So first you'll need to create an account by going to campus.wwf.ca, and then you click create an account. Yeah, campus login, create an account. There we go. So you'll be asked to fill out your name, email, and details about your program at Concordia. And once you're registered, you will enter your dashboard, where you can access tools on the actions we reviewed earlier. So to view and submit actions toward your certification, you'll click the Living Planet Leader button. And there you'll see how far along you've come on all 4 categories of the certification. So that's leadership, teamwork, personal application of sustainability, application of sustainability in academics, and campus community or global volunteering. So if you go into one of these categories, you'll have the option to submit activities that count towards your progress in each category. So for example, for the application of sustainability in academics, you'll enter details about the sustainability course you took and include the instructor's name and email so that the Living Planet at Campus program team can follow up with them if they have any questions.
Great. So that's your job, is to go in and do all of that. But our job is here to support you in like several different ways. Like we are very happy to help you carry out your ideas on campus. This is a big part of what I do. If you want to do gardening or biodiversity stuff, that's what I do. So say, for example, I worked with a group of sustainability ambassadors this year, and they were interested in the birds on campus. And so they researched, found out about the Cornell Feeder Watch project, and now this spring we're going to install 2 new bird feeders with cameras on campus so that we can monitor the birds that are there. That's just a recent example of like students having an idea, and then they come to us and we help them get through the red tape and find funding to do it. Other things that we can do is introduce you to already existing initiatives. There are a lot of existing initiatives on campus that you could participate in. And we also know the curriculum pretty well. We can help and introduce you to people at the Loyola College of Diversity and Sustainability, where they have two different sustainability minors, as well as an elective package that are options for you to take. Oh, it's still me. It does. Okay, so in your path through this program, there's 4 categories that you want to be looking at. So like campus, community, and global volunteerism. There's a website called Service Concordia, which is absolutely excellent. I couldn't, I'll get Christian to help me drop these things in the link later. But when you open this up, basically what you'll see is a long list of different things that you could volunteer for that day that are related to sustainability on campus. It's like a one-stop shop for any volunteering that you need to do. You can volunteer with People's Potato, you can volunteer with CP3, you can volunteer with Zero Waste, you can volunteer at any of the gardens. There's also the campus gardens, and this is only for the summer, but again, the same thing, there's a campus gardens webpage, and what it'll show you is all of the gardens and when they have volunteer drop-in sessions, so there's no need to sign up or anything. When it comes to sustainability and academics, this is what I was referencing before, Loyola College Sustainability and Diversity. Their whole course list is available online. They have 2 different minors as well as an electives group that you can take. There's also the option there, if you take 9 credits within the sustainability minor course offerings, you can become a member of the college. Again, another thing that could be interesting to put on your CV in the future. For personal sustainability, so these are like your actions, the 40 actions that you need to take. Office of Sustainability Instagram is a wealth of knowledge. All you have to do is like honestly follow that. I follow it all the time. Christian does a great job with it. And it's like you learn just little tricks. Like while you're watching Instagram, you can learn little tricks for like how to save on garbage at home or so many different things. So an Instagram account that helps you get your certification is a win-win. And then for leadership, again, I would say the Sustainability Ambassadors Program is probably your best option here. It's excellent. And again, you're self-directed in that you work with students and you choose the project that's of interest to you and you want to work with, but you're guided. You have mentorship through the whole thing that from people who have experience getting projects started on campus or off campus that'll take you through the steps and sort of make it less daunting moving forward.
Yeah, I'm going to take a moment to plug the Sustainability Ambassadors Program. There will be a project showcase shortly after this presentation. So if you want to see what student leadership turns into at Concordia, stop by here. And there's a lot of biodiversity-based projects, but a lot of other sustainability initiatives that are very, very cool. I'm going to take a moment because I saw some stuff in the chat. No, okay, that was me. Great. Just want to make sure that we're answering any questions along the way. So you're convinced this is a great program. You definitely want to join, but there's even more good stuff. So we want students to be recognized internally at Concordia for these efforts. So that's why you can submit a claim for any of these activities you perform towards your Living Planet Leader certification as hours on your co-curricular record. So this is an official Concordia document that recognizes your involvement beyond the classroom and highlights your complete university experience. So lots of recognition to be had. Okay, I'm going to drop this link. This is more of the activity part of the workshop. Just gonna drop that in the chat if I can find it. Okay. And All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll pass it off to you.
Just get it working again. Okay, so now what we'd like for you to do is like follow through the link that Christian just dropped into the chat, and we'll kind of work through the four categories, like quickly work through the four categories that you would be addressing in this certificate. So if you look at section 1, you want to talk about what volunteering you've done. So the organization or initiative that you've worked with, and describe a little bit of the activity and the number of hours completed. If you have a lot of experience, this will be easy to do, and that's fine. If you don't have a lot of experience with this, what I would recommend is just write down activities that you would like to do. Try that. Think about things that you would like to see, because again, I'd like to hear them later. So I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes now to work through your worksheets, and then we'll move on to the next section. You got a timer?
I'm gonna set a timer.
Okay. I should do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
So feel free to ask any questions for those here in person, for those in the chat, that may come up. I see why not. I see like chat, stuff in the chat there, but stuff I've already read here. This is so confusing. There's so much more. We've got 3 minutes left. There's no pressure to finish. This is just to get started. Yeah, I guess we do. But, you know. Yeah, for sure. It was originally 3 minutes. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that's been 5 minutes. So we're going to turn to the next section of the worksheet. So while this exercise may be very straightforward for your area of study, if it's already closely related to conservation and sustainability, think about the importance of this question for areas of study that are not traditionally related to sustainability. Sustainability should be accessible for all students to integrate in their learning because it matters for everyone. So we'll set another timer for 3 minutes. And again, if you have any questions, we're here to answer them. Because yeah, if we could have a frog watch Concordia, that would be really fun. Yeah, 30 more seconds. Again, no pressure to finish. This is just about getting started. Okay, pencils down, I guess.
Okay, so now we're going to look at our personal applications of sustainability. So look at section 3. And when we know that a lot of things in sustainability are very complex and require system level changes to address, there's also actions that we can do, small actions that we can do as individuals that engage us with sustainability every day in our life. So these are great exercises if you're looking for ways to act sustainably or even to shine light on the actions that are more challenging. Again, we're going to set a timer for 3 minutes, and just go take a look through the checklist and see if there's anything that you do on a regular basis that you want to add. And again, here for questions if you need us.
So what's great about this section is that a lot of these things can be done here, or have these actions are supported at Concordia. So sustainable transportation, we have a lot of resources for students. We have the reduced fare for the metro and bus. We have the shuttle. We have a lot of biking infrastructure. Right now, until the end of May, there's a discount for the Concordia community for Bixi memberships. Sorry, I was just seeing, recycling e-waste. Just outside the fourth space, there is a bin for e-waste. So if you have an old phone, I mean, make sure to put it back to factory settings and wipe your data. But any sort of e-waste can be collected here. And then I'm also going to shout out, we have a new initiative at Concordia called Concordia Retech, where they are trying to refurbish discarded e-waste. So right now, I don't know if there's any left, but they were kind of a hot commodity, but there were refurbished headphones at the Center for Creative Reuse. I grabbed a pair. They sound really, really great. They're not like the most stylish headphones, but they're very like good sound. And right now they're focusing on refurbishing keyboards, monitors, mice for offices at Concordia. I believe soon they will be available, their stuff will be available at the Zero Waste store, which is launching today. Very, very exciting. So I'm sorry I spoke during some of that work time, but we are going to move on. Okay, student leadership and teamwork. So take a moment to complete section 4 on the worksheet. As we mentioned, there are many opportunities while studying to demonstrate your teamwork or leadership. If you've taken part in a student group or association, you've probably had to do both. So examples can include helping lead a sustainability campaign, organizing an event, or leading a project. And if you're looking for ideas, look no further than the fourth space. As I mentioned, lots of sustainability ambassador projects coming later today. After that, you can join a sustainability event and learn how to host one, because there will be Climate Jeopardy, hosted by the Climate Emergency Committee. And then tomorrow, a whole bunch of events on plastic waste and upcycling. So if you're looking to get involved with a project, the Concordia Precious Plastics Project is doing a ton of stuff, and 10 out of 10 would recommend. Okay, we're going to wrap up there. So, yeah. So getting started. Hopefully we've given you a good base on how to get started on this certification. If you have any questions, these are our email addresses. And it's also on the worksheet, as well as Azra's email, who works at the WWF. If you need to ask some questions that maybe we can't answer. But yeah, we wish you lots of luck in your studies, and are excited to see what you do while at Concordia. Did you want to talk?
I'll do one
one
more
more, yeah?
plug. Yeah. And if you want to get started, April 26th, come out to Loyola for the City Nature Challenge. We'll do the City Nature Challenge, but by that time, all of the gardens are starting to bloom and there'll be a lot of activity. So while we're walking around and like touring human species, we will meet some human gardeners as well, so that can introduce you to other activities.
Okay, just last opportunity for, do we have any questions? Yeah.
Meredith has a question. Hold on.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a question particularly about the personal application of sustainability, because it's sort of tasks that you might be completing at home. What's the WWF's assessment process for, like, how do you indicate that those are tasks you're completing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it is fairly honor-based. It's possible that the WWF, upon like submitting your certification, will ask some follow-up questions. It's happened, but it's usually about the other categories. The personal application is really about you and your interest and engagement in becoming making your lifestyle more sustainable. So you could lie, but for why? Like why? You know, for whom? So before we end, I'm going to plug one more event that's happening in this week-long celebration of sustainability at Concordia. It's not at the Fourth Space, but over at Sucker, the Center for Creative Reuse, there will be a DIY pinhole viewer making session for the eclipse that's happening on April 8th. So I believe circulating on the city, there are going to be little glasses, but supplies are getting low, and it's not super sustainable because I believe they are single use. So if you want to learn how to make your own and safely view the eclipse on Monday, head to Sucker. That's going to be on Thursday at 4 to 6. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you so much for joining. And again, get in contact with us if you need anything.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Jackie. Thanks for coming in to Fourth Space today for this conversation, bringing this information. Very important. It's good to know. And thank you for everyone who joined us on Zoom and in the space. We're going to be closing up the Zoom and the live stream now. Just a reminder that this conversation is already available on our YouTube channel if you'd like to visit it there. And don't forget to join us very soon for the Sustainability Ambassadors Project Showcase today at 12:30.